All right, screw it. Welcome into the Full Moon Podcast, episode 1. Actually, not episode 1 for those close to me, who's probably going to be the majority of the listeners here. For episode 1, know that we did a short 5-episode stint. Back in the summer of 2019, in my bedroom down in Arundel. That was fun. Had some of the fellows who were just talking shop. Had Big John on, my dad. But yeah, welcome in. We're going to start with a quick who, what, when, where, why. Hang with me. I've never done anything quick in my life, so this might be a little long-winded. But who am I? I'm Jack Webb. I grew up in southern Maine, went to Sacred Heart for a couple years, and finished a college football career up here at the University of Maine. Did a little sideline reporting for UMaine, and now I'm a sports reporter over there over in Bangor for Fox ABC Bangor. And what is this podcast? Still trying to figure that out, to be completely honest. It's really just an outlet for me to get my sports takes out there. I used to do some sports radio over in Bangor before I took the sports reporting job. Haven't really had an outlet outside of this thing I do called Walks with Webb, where I kind of will have a take and walk and talk it out. But yeah, I kind of just want to get on here and yap. When our episode's going to drop, again, to be determined. For now, it's going to be once a week, probably early in the week. Obviously, this one's coming out later before Memorial Day weekend, and this will all be explained in the why. Where can you get this? This will be available on all. It's 2025. You're going to be able to find this on YouTube, anywhere else you get podcasts. That's just how it works nowadays. And now to the important part, why. There are two parts to the why, in my opinion. Why am I doing this podcast, and why should you listen to me? Both great questions that I've thought a lot about, and really are the reason it's taken me so long to just sit down, turn the camera on, turn the mic on, and just start talking, right? I think we'll start with the why am I doing this podcast. As someone who wants to get into the sports media space, is an active sports reporter right now, my current job, I just think this is an area, the digital space, where I've been lacking, right? I do all my work in terms of writing stories, shooting packages, all this stuff, for, University of Maine, covering those teams, covering local Bangor teams, at my actual job over in Bangor, that I'm lacking in the digital content, right? And it's 2025. Like I said, it seems like it's a necessity to have that in your arsenal. And part of the reason I'm doing it is it's such an unclear thing, right? Obviously, you're like, okay, we're a couple minutes in here, and this guy doesn't even sound certain of what his own show is about. And it's because the landscape of sports media right now is so crazy, and it's such a bizarre world, which kind of brings us to why would you listen to me in such an oversaturated market of, now you got former athletes talking on podcasts, you got pro athletes who get done a game like Draymond Green and then goes on his podcast and talks about the game he just played, breaks it down, talks about storylines around the league. So why would you listen to me? That's something I ask myself every day. And I really battle with it. It's part of the reason that I was just sitting here 15 minutes ago, ready to start this up, and that doubt creeps in the back of your head. You're like, God, man, with all this, with all the outlets, with all the content to consume, why the hell would anyone give a fuck what I have to say? But at the end of the day, I think I always come back to, I can't let that be the reason I just don't do it, because if I don't do it, I'll never know. So why should you listen to me? I'm a former athlete, former FCS Division I athlete who knows a lot of people and is extremely curious. I'm obsessed with sports. I'm the guy who, while everyone else watches their favorite Netflix show, I'm watching the third rerun of SportsCenter. That's been me my whole life. I'm obsessed with sports as a whole, and I'm kind of a jack of all trades in the sports world. You give me a sport that's fairly mainstream. I'm not talking cricket or anything. I can talk it. You know what I mean? I keep up with everything. It consumes my life. Sports are my life. I'm lucky enough to have a pretty solid network of people across the sports world that I'm always constantly asking questions, just trying to educate myself in every category. And I just think I'm a fun, relatable personality who, like I said, is obsessed with sports. And I think another reason you should listen to me is I am a young person trying to break into this new sports media world, you can kind of think of it, think of it this way. You tuning into these podcasts is going to be like you buying a friggin', Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin, Jesus, Bitcoin went to the moon. That's wrong. Think of, let me start this one over. And another reason why I'm doing the podcast is because shit like this will happen to me. Part of this is just an exercise for myself. These episodes could have 50 listeners, and I really won't care because a big part of this is just for me to get reps. I need more reps of me just talking to the camera, being able to just find my way, because when you go on these long tangents, it's legitimately like a fucking maze. You're winding your way through, and hopefully you just find your way to the end. And sometimes, especially when I'm doing these walks with Webbs, I won't like something I said, and I'll just stop. I'll be like, that wasn't good. But I can't make that a habit. That's something I need to work on. There are these little things in this sports media world that I'm trying actively to cut out, right? Bad habits, things of that nature. So, again, we'll start that one over and not just quit. We're going to keep it rolling. Think of this as you buying a crypto. Think of you buying Dogecoin, whatever in August before it blew up in November. It's probably still going to blow up on you. You're probably still going to lose all your money and lose your time, waste time listening to me. But there's a chance. There's a small chance we could blow up and go to the moon, and you could consider yourself a day one. So how about that? How about you lock in with me and you come along with me on this journey that is so uncertain, right? And it's scary. It is something that these sports media hours, and guys, listen, I understand I'm not, in the military, or I'm not sacrificing that much, but in a world where there's never been more opportunities for you to put your voice out there, it's also become so oversaturated that there's so much eye watch. I even put myself in consumer shoes, and you think, okay, do I really want to listen to this guy? Do I really care what this guy has to say? So it's a scary world to get into, and what we're going to do here is, here I go bouncing around. I'm going to go back to the what. I'm going to get some of these guests on. I'm going to try to tap into this network and have some great guests along with myself, at the end of the episode, spewing out whatever takes I have in basically current events in the sports world primarily. I'd love to talk a little pop culture if we can get to that, and if there's ever anything big enough, which that's the beauty of the world, right? It's nonstop reality TV, especially in the sports world. There's always stuff happening, and I just would love to get on and yap about it. And it's funny too, I've really thought about just clip farming, coming on here, not even having a podcast, because this is, like I said, it's 2025. Everybody consumes their shit through the algorithm, through clips on social media. And the other thing about these friggin' clips, it doesn't make any sense to me. If anyone who's listening to this could shoot me a DM, a text, an email, whatever it may be, and tell me how the hell this algorithm works, it's almost discouraging, because you'll see someone with hundreds of thousands of followers have 5,000 views on a reel or on a TikTok, and you're like, how does that even work? You've built this following. How does your videos just flop like this? So if anyone's got any insight, that's a whole nother topic, obviously. If anyone's got any insight, maybe we'll have a guest on talking about how the fuck these algorithms work. And I'm sorry, again, this is going to be a no-filter pod. Again, it's 2025. I listen to Scott Van Pelt's pod, the premier voice on ESPN now, SportsCenter. He's the only SportsCenter that I'm always dialed into. He swears on his podcast, so I feel like I'm good. If you're listening to this at home and you got a small child around you, I'm sorry. He's going to probably hear a couple hard F-bombs. That's just how it's going to work. I'll try to keep them to a minimum, though, to stay somewhat classy. But again, yeah, I've been thinking about just clip farming. Coming on here, having a rant, doing it, not even having a podcast, not even pulling them from a pod, just, having the Full Moon podcast page on there and just farming and just clips, nonstop clips. And then people, because that's how a lot of people consume it. Some people don't even go watch the bulk of it. They won't listen to it. They won't watch it on YouTube. So it's an interesting world that we're going to talk about a lot here on this podcast as it comes to my mind. But let's get right into it. I mean, last night, we're filming this Thursday morning. Last night, that Knicks-Pacers game was one of the best basketball games I've seen in a long time. And the Knicks, after they get done celebrating a round 2 win over the Celtics like it was the NBA Finals, they get a taste of their own medicine blowing a lead right there. I mean, that was insane to watch. And Aaron Naismith, don't forget, Aaron Naismith he was at the very end of that Danny Ainge draft masterclass. And what's funny, and it was brought up in a group chat I was in last night, is what he did last night. Scoring 13 of the Pacers' last 14 points to really spark that comeback. The Knicks, well, let's see here. I wrote it down. 20 points for the Pacers in the final 2 minutes, 30 seconds of the game. They were down 14 points. Aaron Naismith was 13 of those 14 in that comeback. That's exactly who the Celtics drafted Naismith to be, the 3-and-D lengthy guy. And here he is. I understand you gave him up in a deal to eventually win a championship. Don't get me wrong. That's not lost on me. But it's just cool to see him kind of come into that form and him be the exact player Danny Ainge wanted him to be. And it was just, Knicks fans, I thought it was over. I was sitting here writing down on my notepad because I had mentally checked out of the game. Next thing you know, I look up. I think I really tuned into the second to last Naismith threes. We're like, oh, we got a game here. I love watching these videos of Knicks fans celebrating early and things of that nature. And it was an unbelievable game to watch. First off, but Halliburton blows by his defender, has got a chance to just tie it where I think it was Cat slid and picked him up right under the basket. He's got options. You already beat your defender to the rack. You can either go up with it and try to go over Cat, or you can kick it out of the corner where Cat just came from and move the basketball and get a look. I haven't seen it talked about at all today. He had his man beat, was in the paint, ran back out to the three-point line to try to win the game. We're having a completely different conversation this morning if he doesn't get that miraculous bounce. And then he gets the bounce, foot was on the line, he throws up the Reggie Miller choke. I thought for sure when they instantly cut to the replay, it was foot on the line. I thought it was Knicks all day. I was like, there's no chance in hell. He cucked himself. It was unbelievable. It just, for a series that has such a historical nostalgia. Historical is another word, nostalgia. I watched the winning time Reggie Miller versus New York Knicks twice before the series started because I said, okay, if I'm going to get over this Celtics loss, I'm going to really get into this series. So I watched it twice. And nobody does sports nostalgia like 90s basketball. I mean, the way some of these documentaries are made, the characters, the jerseys, the colors, the rabid fan bases, it's incredible. And for that series to deliver in a game one like that was just amazing to watch. And just another observation. And again, I'm a weirdo, right? Like keep in mind, I'm not a Ryan Russillo where his whole job is to watch the tape and break it down. I'm giving you off the cuff, and especially we're gonna polish it up here as the podcast goes on. I wanted to obviously sit down and just yap this one away and get the first episode out of the way. But like Ryan Russillo, I love listening to him. He's a guy where you can go to if you want stats, if you want, X's and O's breakdown, even though obviously he's not a former player or anything, he just does a really good job diving into that type of stuff. That's what he kind of prides himself on. Here's the shit that I notice. If you're a Knicks fan, how crazy are you going listening to Reggie Miller's entire series? And on the flip side, how does Reggie Miller even attempt to do a good enough job to contain his own excitement and his own hatred of the Knicks? Because he's a competitor, man. Like, he hated the Knicks when he played them. He wanted to bust their ass. That doesn't go away. You're a competitor that intense. And listen, I'm a competitor myself, and I hold grudges to this day for anything. I will never shy away from it. University of New Hampshire, I hate them. As a Maine Black Bear. I was at my sister's graduation. She went to UNH like a scumbag this past weekend. Wore my Maine football polo like that. And that will never go away for the rest of my life. And obviously there's probably going to be a situation where, and it has happened before, you have to compartmentalize it and you tuck it away. And you say, okay, I'm being professional. You have to completely get that out of your system. And obviously doing the sideline stuff, I've had to tuck that away before. And you can do a good job of it. But I only have to do that for a couple hits of reporting when I was doing sideline. This guy's doing the color commentary of the whole game. How does he just tuck that intensity away. It's really impressive to think about. And then here's something else I noticed after the game, because as a competitor, I'd be pissed. You just blew that lead. You are tight, especially against a Pacers team who's just got so many characters and just rats. You kind of just want to. They got some punchable guys over there in Indiana. They got some punchable guys. And if there's one thing you're going to learn about me in this podcast, I love infrastructure. I used to, as a kid, like line up CDs to form a locker. I just love like the inner workings of an arena. The New York Knicks, in their visitor bench, usually on those benches, you just go to the corners. Like you are on your side. They got to, for some reason, the ways to their own locker room are past each other on the other side, on the opposite bench. That's the way to your locker room. That's like asking for trouble. Whoever came up with that is devious and wants chaos. Because if I was one of those Knicks players last night, similar to hockey, where we just blew a lead, I'm throwing a shoulder into somebody. Something's got it. Like, that's a recipe for disaster. So, I mean, again, this is the weird shit I noticed. And again, you're probably thinking at this point, what the actual hell is this guy talking about? Again, I'm not really sure. I'm working on polishing, and this is an exercise. I'm not out here thinking, yeah, we're going to do numbers, episode 1. This is an exercise for myself. So if you haven't turned it off by now, God bless you for even staying through the ADD that is my life and my thoughts in this brain. Okay, so thank you for that. I'm excited for Game 2. And the pace of this series, probably should have led with some actual hoops talk before we got into fucking infrastructure. But the pace of this series, it makes it so entertaining. The characters, and I'm not a big fan of change. Like, I'm one of the guys who's still hanging on to the nostalgia of the 2010s in that era of hoops, the Currys, the Kevin Durants. Like, I'm not ready to say goodbye to those guys yet. I'll tell you what, last night might be the first time that I've accepted this is the new era of the NBA, that guys like Brunson, Halliburton, are running the league now. They're taking over. This is the Eastern Conference Final, second in a row for Tyrese Halliburton, first for Jalen Brunson. It was the first time I've been like, okay, I'm okay with this. They're really putting on a show, and I'm fired up for the rest of the series. I'm not sure if the pace stays like this. I don't think the Knicks can hang with them. I think the Knicks have so much wear and tear of not only 82 games, but that Celtics series, people forget the Celtics were blowing leads just like the Knicks. Like, that was a battle for the Knicks to win a lot of those games. Obviously, Game 6, they made it look so easy and it looked like they just cruised to a lead here. They fought hard. Those were physical series, kind of grinded out basketball. And I'm not sure the Knicks can hang with them for a full 7 games if this is going to be the pace of the whole thing. The T-Wolves and Thunder, SGA wins MVP. While we're on the topic of Jalen Brunson as well, SGA and Brunson, I am getting fed up with this foul baiting bullshit. And don't get me wrong, I understand selling calls. I'm a European soccer fan, so I understand that that's part of the game. And it obviously is in Europe. I mean, in soccer, way more than it should be in basketball. Basketball is way more physical of a sport, where I think you should be able to get, play that rough and tough, old school style more. And then you got guys like Brunson and SGA who are legitimately using soccer tactics, initiating contact. As soon as they initiate contact, throw their head back. There's a video of Brunson from last night, legit hooks Halliburton's arm and hits himself in the face with it. It's infuriating to watch, and I'm so sick of it, and that's why I'm just not on board with the SGA MVP, and that's such a dumb reason, right, for me to say that. But it's just I hate it. I despise. It's the same reason I hate when Joel Embiid, a 7-foot whatever, 200 high 200-pound man, grown man, is trying to foul bait. Kills me. Fucking kills me. But anyway, that's a different tangent. Can't lie to you. I was tuned into the hockey. So we're going to breeze over Timberwolves and Thunder. I promise to watch that game tonight to have more of a take on it. And let's get into some hockey. Hockey is becoming more and more every year with all the player empowerment stuff. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but all of the BS that's going on with players moving and drama queens and things of that nature. You know what I'm talking about. Hockey is the only sport where it's truly about the team. Always, no matter what, it feels like the last sport where it is fully the team over everything else. And it's making me, it's moving hockey. And obviously, I'm a football guy. Nothing will surpass football for me ever. But hockey's getting closer and closer, man. And I just think a perfect example of it is a guy like Brad Marchand, who goes from wearing the C, being the face of the franchise in Boston, a real hockey city, a real sports city, to being on the third line in Florida and just accepting it and morphing into this new role and owning it, fully owning it, doing whatever is best for the team to win. And it's amazing to watch because he's so damn good at it. And that's what was so frustrating as a Bruins fan and follower. When he gets dealt to Florida, you're like, oh my God. Not only is it Florida who has bullied the Bruins and owned them for 2 straight years, obviously ended their best regular season ever early in the first round of the playoffs, coming back from 3-1. But you just knew how well Marchand was going to fit in with those rats down there in Florida. And the way he's gone about his business and just own that third line role, doing whatever it takes, it's incredible. And it's exactly why hockey is really climbing up my rankings and personal favorite sport. And it's just a reason it's a reason it's great, man. And it's put on example all the time come playoffs. I mean, Scheifele, obviously, unfortunately, losing his father before that game against the Stars. And to go out and play in the reception he got after, obviously, he has to take the penalty on the breakaway at the end of regulation. And geez, I'm gross. See, lost train of thought. See, again, we're going to push through it. We're not going to cut it, though. We're going to push through this. He takes the end of the regulation, takes a penalty end of regulation. He's in the box to start overtime. The Stars score. They advance to the next round. The entire Jets team gets him out of the box. The hug line was emotional. It was really cool to watch. Another example of why hockey culture is just, it's winning. In 2025, for me, it's winning. It's doing it for me. Absolutely love it. Excited to watch not only this Hurricanes-Panthers series, but anytime Connor McDavid's in the ice, it's must-see TV. It's essentially the same thing as those Curry playoff days back in the mid to late 2010s, and obviously 2022 when he turned into his old self again and snapped in that run. But it's just hockey keeps growing and growing and growing, and I'm so happy for the sport. I'm so happy for the guys who play it, and for the sports culture as a whole. It's getting put on display. Obviously, the Four Nations really helped, and that fires me up. What else we got here? Oh, I wanted to, and again, probably should structure this better, and we'll have a note at the end where we'll break it all down and talk about some adjustments that need to be made. But I want to talk about some baseball real quick, specifically the Boston Red Sox. Alex Cora on Monday missed the game because he went to attend his daughter's graduation. Now, that to me, and I should probably preface and actually explain to you, again, see, exercise. We're working on it. Need to be better in this category. I should probably explain to you why the hell I'm bringing this up. Because Felger, for those who somehow don't know, maybe live under a rock or are just not from the New England area, Felger and Maz, been around forever, extremely popular Boston sports radio show, one of the top-rated in the country, right, for sports radio. Longtime journalist turned talking head on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Known for his negativity, excuse me as I burped there, known for his negativity, throws a fit that Alex Cora decided to attend his daughter's graduation at Boston College instead of going to the game. Keep in mind, there's 162 damn games in a baseball season. And he's freaking out about him missing a Monday night game against the New York Mets. AL versus NL. I could actually make the argument that it's better for him to not go to that game at all for two reasons. One, it's a 162 game season. If anything, throwing a little curveball to the fellas, saying we're going to have the bench coach be the head man tonight, that's great for the team. That's great to break up such a long season. You need shit like that to happen. It's the same reason they just give players off some nights. It's 162 games. Sometimes you need a break. And the other reason, it was brought up, okay, graduation was at 10 a.m. By the time you get done the grad party, what is it, 1, 2? You can get to the ballpark for a 7 p.m. first pitch. Do people think you just show up to the park at 6:30? Yeah, we got a game at 7. High school show, game at 7. Get here at 6. Like this is high school sports? Those guys are there late morning, early afternoon. Why disrupt a full day of routine when you could say ahead of time, hey, on Monday, whatever it was, on that Monday in May, I'm sister's graduation, I'm not going to be here that day. Let someone else just take the full day. That'd be more of a distraction if you pop in the clubhouse at 5, everyone's already gone through, a lot of their routine, coaches have already had some of their meetings, things of that nature, and then all of a sudden, here Cora is coming in late. Let the guy be, man. Fuck. And then, got to wrap it up here soon. We'll talk some Scotty Scheffler real quick. Scotty, man, he's an assassin. He's an assassin. He makes, when you saw Scotty with a multi-shot lead, you knew it was going to be a boring Sunday. That is the power this guy has, the skill, and really who he is now. He's not Tiger. Tiger in Tiger's real prime was winning at an insane clip, but he's the closest thing we've seen. And he's just unbelievable. The way he carries himself too, family man, just put together, I think is the way you could really describe him. And to see him show some emotion and not just be a fucking robot was incredible to see. So I'm happy for Scotty, and I actually have to go to work here soon, so we're going to hurry this up. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere fucking near that. I'm not going anywhere near it. To think that a take foul into an Angel Reese flop has led to RG3 and Ryan Clark going at each other and defending their own stances on all these issues. Dude, I guess this is 2025, but it's insane. It is insane. A take foul in the third quarter of a basketball, I think it was the third quarter, in a women's basketball game, in a WNBA basketball game, led to all this insanity on Twitter. I mean, it's nuts. I'm not going anywhere near it. So, again, got to be more structured. I really just did this to get something out there. Man, I really just wanted to get the first one under my belt, get comfortable with it. Obviously, it is Thursday, May 22nd at 1 p.m. is when I'm recording this. If I can get this up by Saturday, we're cooking. Just know we're cooking if I can get this up and uploaded by Saturday morning. That would be unbelievable. We're gonna get another one in next week, and we're gonna figure this out on the fly. If you have somehow made it to the end of this pod, God bless you. Thank you for listening. I'm sure if you have, you're probably someone who knows me and I'm close with. I love you. So thank you for that. I'm gonna try to keep episodes around 30 to 45. Every time, but obviously as guests come on and we have some actual people on, I think it could change. It could be a little longer, but those will hopefully be interesting interviews. And I'm going to stop yapping and just say thank you if you made it this far, and we'll see you next time.